Hey everybody, welcome to Storm Talk. Weather News meteorologist Brian Good here as we head into the final days of the winter season officially. We're looking at springtime weather, and as far as severe weather goes, no outlooks given for us the next few days. In fact, this is the slowest start here to severe weather season we've had in some time. In fact, some stats coming out now for the month of March. To go this long without a tornado in the United States and lower 48 this far into March has not happened since 1969. These are good stats to have, but it looks like a carbon copy of last year. And looking longer term, it does look like that even this summer will be a typical, at least I'm seeing the beginning signs. This summer will likely be a typical summer here in the Ohio Valley. Fairly normal, maybe some cool shots once again coming through, but I don't see anything right now that is screaming a hot and oppressive summer coming our way. It looks very similar to last year. So the pattern of status quo appears to be holding true. All right, let's talk about how nice it is right now. 74 degrees outside. As always the case, at the airport, you get warmer than most locations, so we have a good chance to get very close to 80 later on today. Last time we were in the 80s was the 27th of October, and we hit 85 degrees. Now, we're not going to get that warm, but it is going to be a nice day, and it already is, and hopefully you're enjoying it. Because yesterday and today combined, beautiful outside. Look at Omaha, though, 78 already there. Some locations just west of there could easily hit 90 later on this afternoon, which would be record territory. So those guys really going right into summer, but that's the way it always seems to happen around here. For us, it's a gentle, swings here into the month of March, and it gets a little more about taste of spring weather. We'll take it. All right, quick update on the river. Obviously, it's been a big story as of late. The good news is the Ohio, both gauges are now cresting. They're leveling out. They'll begin their drop. It looks like the lower gauge, closer to the casino, is going to begin to drop below flood stage by Friday. And then the upper gauge, closer to Waterfront Park, will be a little slower to fall, likely early on Saturday, the way it's looking. Either way, though, excuse me, as we enter the weekend, things will begin to improve for the Ohio. Yes, we have rain in the forecast, but right now the rainfall amounts do not look significant enough to cause any delay in these stats here. White River is forecast to crest tomorrow. It'll drop below flood stage by Wednesday up there near Seymour, and then Rolling Fork is already there, and now beginning its fall. Looks like it will be below flood stage as early as tomorrow. So some good news on the rivers. We're beginning a chance to finally dry things out here in the Ohio Valley. You see just a few high thin cirrus clouds streaming overhead from the satellite image from space there. Otherwise, another beautiful day outside, and a wider view shows more of the same. Beautiful sky over the area. One thing we're going to be tracking the next 24 hours is a cold front. Now, don't panic. This is not going to be a cold front. It's going to give us a lot of rain or even a huge drop in temperature. It is going to pass through here later tonight with some cloud cover. Maybe some sprinkles could get squeezed out of this during the day tomorrow. That's about the best it has to work with when it comes to moisture. Yes, it will cool us off. We're going to fall back into the 50s. Any sun we pick up tomorrow, though, will easily shoot us up into the lower 60s. So tomorrow's highs will be combating the northerly flow that'll move in, but also the cloud cover. If we stay cloudy most of the day, we'll be struggling through the 50s. Again, but any 1 to 2 hours of sun easily will get us about 62 or 63 for a high. So not bad. I mean, actually where it should be for this time of the year. But compared to today, yes, it will be a cooler day, but still, I think it's going to be a nice one. So let me cover the pattern as we end the time. I'm not going to show a lot of model data because models are all over the place with this type of a pattern. We've had a cutoff low here across the southern part of the country, and we've got several areas of low pressure kind of passing through a northerly flow. And a few of these try to dig in here in the eastern part of Canada. Same thing we saw all winter long. And it tries to drive the jet to the south, and then this cutoff energy in the southwest tries to throw energy into this, and you get a repeating factor. Remember those nor'easters we had in Boston? They're still showing up down the road as far as the same type of track for these systems, but you don't have the big Arctic highs that we'd had early in the winter. So you're not hearing a lot of headlines about it, but if it's January, you would be. But we still have several active systems going to roll out and impact the Northeast with some snow, wet snow, possible as we get into later on this week. For us, what we're going to be tracking is these little pieces of energy that roll out. By all means, got to watch each and every one of them. And yes, we have to watch the digging up below that's across areas of Canada to see how far it can push that cold air track. It's going to be varying a little bit on the models. Some models only bring that source of cold air to about Ohio, keep it right in that area, keeps all these southern systems moving to the east at a fairly good clip. GFS is trying to come in and really press that cold air a little further to the south to encompass a good chunk of our area, and on top of that throws in a southern system. You see the problem there that could show up down the road, but right now that is about the only model that's really showing any sign of that. The rest of them kind of keep the cold air locked in this region here. So it's a cool pattern shaping up. but also very active when it comes to energy to our south and energy moving in from the northwest. Are we done with snow? No, I do not think we are, and I'm talking about in terms of snowflakes. I still think with this kind of a setup, you cannot take snow off the table because, as I just mentioned, it only takes one to really phase here across the eastern part of the country to get you a wet snow to scenario, a rain to snow, or an upper level low that'll give you some wet snowflakes thanks to dynamic cooling. I know I'm throwing a lot of terms at you guys here, but the pattern still supports that type of scenario through at least the first part of April, the way it's looking right now. Doesn't mean it's going to stay cold all the time. I say cold, relatively speaking. If a lot of you, they're looking at the models and you're seeing, oh my gosh, it's going to be 10 to 20 below. That's below where you should be for this time of the year, which would put us in the 40s, not 20s. So, and that is not exactly all the way to snow level, if you will. Once you get into the 30s, you get into an issue here. You got to watch for snow. So a cool, damp forecast every once in a while. But as far as anything off the charts, I don't see anything. But I'm not taking snowflakes off the forecast map altogether over the next few weeks because this kind of a setup, you can't roll them out. You can still get them. The good news about that kind of a flow, though, out of the northwest that I'm seeing is that your chances for severe weather are relatively low. You really need to get the trough to get severe weather, which we don't want it, but for those of you that are big storm enthusiasts, you really need that trough to get back to the west again to really get things pumped up for severe weather to break out across the nation's heartland. And right now, there's not a lot of strong signals of that. We may see something happen in April, but between now and then, the flow that has dominated the past year, if not longer, the northwest flow and the cutoff energy moving across the south, that looks to last at least the 1st of April. So temperatures will vary because every time we get a chance to see a relaxation in that cool push that's pushing down on us when it retreats, we get a chance to jump up into the 60s, but then we get another system that smashes it back down again. So a lot of back and forth on numbers here. So buckle up when it comes to the forecast. You will see some varied numbers. All right, let's talk about the short term here. I mentioned that cold front tonight that moves in with that cloud cover. Watch how we drop down into 50s tonight. There's the cloud cover tomorrow morning. It's just a couple of blips showing up there. Not a big deal, maybe a sprinkle or two. It tries to get us, though, a few hours of sun in the afternoon, and as I pointed out, if we get that, we'll easily get back into the 60s again. Clouds will be dependent. And then a cooler forecast is with the middle of the week here, Thursday and Friday. We stay cloudier, more of a northerly flow. Our next wave, it's a southern system again. It's going to skim across Kentucky and Tennessee with some rain, it looks like, as we head into Thursday. GFS is trying to throw out some snow mixing in early Thursday, but right now I'm not ruling that out, as I just mentioned, in these kind of scenarios, but I think it's going to be far-fetched right now, too, to get anything decent. And we're going to be above freezing, so we're talking literally a few wet snowflakes mixed in with rain. Not that exciting, and a lot of you wouldn't even miss it. So right now I don't see anything that's concerning. But the rain, as I mentioned before, looks light enough to alleviate any major issues when it comes to flooding as we get into time. Real quick, a look at the temperatures. You can see these cool snaps I'm talking about. There's that suppression of cold air for the middle of the week. It relaxes somewhat on Saturday, and then it presses back down again as we get into Sunday and Monday, and then it tries to relax even more by the middle of next week. But you can see another push that is already starting to show up there on the 26th of March. That will likely work its way in by the last few days of the month. So again, it's going to be that pushing back and forth from the north and the southern systems passing through. That is our weather headline. That is our setup all the way through the month of March as we head into spring. All right, I hope that explains how things are going. I haven't had a chance to update you guys on the weather pattern, but that is how we are looking. Enjoy the nice weather this afternoon. We'll see you today beginning at 5.